I casually dropped a small bowl into a drain pipe, and it completely flooded an entire underground kingdom. The force was like a meteor slamming into Earth. Not only that, I also stuck dozens of straws into both sides of a bamboo tube. Then I turned on the faucet. The water rushed through the bamboo tube, and passed through those straws, watering the paper field vanille. A brilliant invention was born, but I had no idea. The tiny underground kingdom was about to be affected because of it. My name is Arthur. Ever since I was little, I loved reading adventure stories. My grandmother told me that my grandfather mysteriously disappeared 4 years ago, while searching for treasure. All he left behind was a comic book. It was all about the underground kingdom. I was immediately drawn to the princess in the book. It just so happened to be my birthday, but my parents were both away and couldn't make it back. At least I had my grandmother with me. She gave me a little red sports car. But then, an unscrupulous developer showed up at our door. We couldn't pay back the money we owed, so he was going to take our house. As he left, he kicked my little red car right into the sewer. That's when I remembered the treasure my grandfather was looking for. I found the clues he left behind in the storage room. The treasure was hidden in the underground kingdom. But to enter, the gateway only opens at midnight on a full moon. And wouldn't you know it, tonight was a full moon. Following my grandfather's instructions, he first found a telescope. Suddenly, some wild men appeared. Turns out, they were old friends of my grandfather. They formed a circle, and told me there was a fearsome Dark Lord in the underground kingdom. Only by facing him could I get the treasure. Confused, I turned a switch on the telescope. A beam of moonlight shone down, and the gateway burst open. My body started shrinking. I only had 3 days to get out, or the gateway would close forever. He slid down the telescope into the underground kingdom. After passing through a layer of golden liquid, I was decked out in a whole new outfit. Down there, they were selecting the chosen one. Whoever could pull the sword from the ground would inherit the throne. The naturally brave princess gave it everything she had, but it wouldn't budge. I had just explained my purpose to the king, when suddenly, the Dark Lord's minions came riding in on mosquitoes. The soldiers of the underground kingdom immediately fought back, using tomatoes as cannons. But there were too many enemies. Even the princess was surrounded. At the critical moment, I pulled out the legendary sword. In no time, I took care of the situation. After that battle, the princess started to have feelings for me. Then the princess and her brother joined me on a journey to the Dark Lord city. Along the way, we ran into a giant centipede and nearly lost our lives. Later, we floated down a stream in a walnut shell, but the princess couldn't swim. I used her sash to tie the sword to a tree. Just as the waterfall came crashing down, we managed to escape. After a long journey, we finally reached the Dark Lord city. There, I found my grandfather locked up, and the so-called treasure was the throne behind the Dark Lord. The Dark Lord pushed us into a sewer. Then he opened a water valve. Water rushed through a bunch of straws, and quickly flooded the sewer. We were inside, and there was my little red car. I quickly wound it up. The car zoomed forward. The water was right on our heels. At the very last moment, we made it back to the underground kingdom. Everyone worked together to seal the gate, keeping the water out. Today was the final day. I had to return to the human world. As I left, the princess gave me a heartfelt kiss. I made it back to the surface. And at the same time, my grandfather came back with me. But if we couldn't come up with the money today, the developer would take our house. Meanwhile, underground, the dark forces were having a meeting. But then, the light from a ruby happened to shine upward. I spotted the exact location of the Dark Lord city. So I dropped a tennis ball into the pipe. The dark forces underground were in for it. Their pipes were instantly smashed. The tennis ball got stuck right at the water outlet. Before long, the Dark Lord city was flooded, and that ruby floated to the surface. At that crucial moment, I grabbed the ruby, and finally saved our house.